country by himself. I mean, Dronacharya wasn't a bad man himself. Actually, he was really nice. He used to teach the Pandavas, which are 5 men who were really nice, and the Kauravas, which is like 100+ men, and they used to be within a lot of crimes and things. So Dronacharya had a good side, but then due to his law of the land, where he can't teach low caste people as well as teaching the princes of the land, so Arjuna, it's just not right, and he'd get in a lot of trouble for it.
Yes. It's interesting because I would say, just knowing what I do, and these struggles are not mine or Freddie's, but I would say access to any kind of learning and education in large parts of India is very, very, very governed by hierarchy. You know, what you have access to and who you have access to. It's in an urban setting, and I'm sure it probably, those of us sitting in here, because we are of a certain, we've made that journey, you know, so those struggles will never be ours. But for a lot of people, and I'm sure not just in India, it is probably a very, very, very real and lived sort of experience of not being able to access things simply because of who they are, you know, or simply because of the color of their skin, or simply because of the family they were born into, or the caste they were born into. Now, it is interesting to point out that Freddie's character, who's a forest dweller, they would be called Adivasi, or the original settlers. Adi is original, and Vasam is to stay somewhere. So they were the original settlers, and they were actually without caste, avarna. So they were like the lowest of the low. So even today, in tribal situations in India, we have a classification called scheduled castes and scheduled tribes, and it's very, very, very difficult for education and healthcare to penetrate those communities and those areas, those geographical areas. So it is, although we kind of, we've seen a very ancient story, it is actually a very real struggle for a lot of them. Margarita.
I was going to say this applies to a Western context as well, because I think what it came across to me is just how much harder someone who's underprivileged has to work without means to get to the same place and beat all of those odds, and how that really doesn't happen a lot of times. So how, I don't know if that's something that you resonated with as well. That's part of the story.
That was a big question.
Yeah, it was just kind of, yeah.
What was the question?
I was just sharing how I felt that someone who's underprivileged has to work way harder. And that,
even in Western context, yeah. I don't think Margarita was actually asking a
to be
question.
fair, I was just not thinking.
I agree.
Yeah. I was just sharing what I thought about it. That what resonated with me.
Sorry, Fred hasn't had enough Lucozade yet. So. Go on.
I just want to know what was your journey in dancing from when you started and what you learn today, what you see in the future. Obviously, there's a bright future ahead. So how do you see that journey going on? Either in Bharatanatyam or, I don't know, DC, Kata. A lot of dancers are shadow dance. So how do you see this from when you started now and after?
Good question, I like it.
He's relieved because he can actually answer that.
So, back to the beginning, where I actually knew cinematic and Bollywood and hip-hop rather than Bharatanatyam. One day, Anne came in touch with my mom and dad, and they were like, Freddie's doing really well in dance, he's got talent, he's got potential. Why don't you bring him in for Bharatanatyam and give it a chance? At first we were like, but Felix as well.
Oh yeah, Felix, give us a wave, stop looking at your phone. Typical teenager.
Yeah, we were both told to come in, and then we were both like encouraging each other like, we can't go in, we're boys now. We look at the group and it's all girls, and we're like, nah, not happening. And then Mom said give it a go, Anne directly came to us and said give it a go, showed us examples of boys who do it in Bharatanatyam, many things, Kuchipudi, Kathak, everything. And we gave it a go. Now, around 3-4 years later, we're here doing around 5-6 shows now. Every show is different. You get a really valuable lessons from it, and it's a different experience. Like this one itself, like Ekalavya's, by the time I got on the stage with the actual show, I'm like, I'm him. I actually know the feeling that he had then. And within the future, obviously I want to keep going with dance. I've got my mum, dad, other friends over here who keep encouraging me to dance. I've got Anne here who won't let me go.
He sold his soul. He's not going anywhere.
Yes, but the dance will
Unique,
always,
but what's unique compared to dancing? Yeah, exactly.
yeah, dance will always be a part of my life. But,
I think Shami.
hi,
Freddie, well done.
thank you.
And to everyone, my parents and teachers as well. See, people my age could relate. Normally, this is one of Ramayana, all of this sort of engraved into our stories, our culture,